It's like that comes back to being a mental health thing, right? Like if you're just constantly looking at like the horribleness that people are doing to you, it is going to wear you down if you're just hyper focusing on this kind of stuff.
I think it's a three-parter. I think, and I at the same time, I want to initially acknowledge that this is ignorant to some extent, but I think this is a three-part. I think the first one is doing the most that you can to protect yourself in advance, taking steps to do some of the stuff like mitigating access to your information publicly. Some of the things that I do are like I used to be a game developer. I don't tell anybody what studio I worked with. It's specifically because people can track down the information, find the other people who are involved, and they're not streamers, I don't think. So like they can find public information because they're not interested in protecting it. Same thing with like other places that I worked. I'd like to not mention the name, things like that to try and protect yourself in advance. Then there are the tools that you have for immediate action, mods, auto mods, doing stuff, trying to watching the moderation listing, like you were talking about, Vana, was the having the mod actions, stuff like that, being able to monitor it in the moment and go back and reference these things and make sure that you're keeping the contemporary, the always in the moment flow good and safe. And so that's part two. Part three is there's stuff that you just can't do anything about. And I think that's the point where you have to, I think that's a matter of self-knowledge, self-awareness, and self-work that also involves self-worth and confidence, working to feel confident in your product, in yourself, in your community, in your moderators, the things that slip through. You got to do your best to go, it's out of my hands. Let's not talk about it. Let's not do anything about it. Nothing to be done. We'll just focus on the things that we can do. We can have fun.
Right.
We can communicate with each other, with open hearts, open arms, open minds, and just sort of love our way out of that toxic thing that's infiltrated. I feel like generally those are the three parts to handling it as a whole.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to be honest with you with all that. That takes a lot of work and that takes a lot of time. So a lot of people, I call it a healing process because I feel like you're slowly healing to get to that I guess level of being okay with the stuff that's not okay. And as I said, it can sometimes take a couple years.
For sure. I mean, I don't think anyone is still 100% immune to like what people say.
No.
Like, no one's bulletproof, but it is, and it's hard to like completely prepare for someone to come into your chat and say something mean. Like it's literally something that you can know exists, and you know it's going to happen because it is going to happen. But like it still is like that initial interaction is just, it's very uncomfortable. It takes time.
So how do you guys handle it in the moment? Vana, what do you do when somebody's coming in and like doing it immediately at you? Like what does it feel like and what's the response? And like how do you manage that?
Well, I have a really, really fantastic mod team. Like there are people that have just been with the channel for a long time, like solid community members, just like good people. So they have just such a good radar for that stuff. So a lot of times they'll catch it, as at the moment I see it or before I see it, and I'll usually still click and make sure what it says, just so I know. I probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. But,
I try to avoid clicking.
I'm very curious, so I can't help myself. But I'm really grateful because I do have a great mod team, and I think that is so super crucial, is finding people in your community that you can trust and that want you to succeed and want to protect not only you and the content you're creating, but the rest of the people in the community. So I think that's huge. But as far as like me like actually responding to it, I just don't. Like every now and then, if it's something really stupid, I'll point it out to make it a joke. I'll just be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Cool about your big weenie. It's so fun. So proud of you. If it's something like that, I'll call it out. But if it's something like legitimately abusive or harassment or toxic, which all of it is, but you know what I mean, that nuanced difference, then the mods will take care of it, or I'll take care of it, and I will not bring it up. I will not address it. If anybody else brings it up in the chat, I won't address that comment.
Mhm.
If multiple people bring it up, which normally people don't, I feel like my community is really good about like knowing not to feed the trolls.
Right.
Yeah.
But if people keep bringing it up, I'll be like, oh, let's move on. We're doing this thing now. We're gonna play the game. So that's kind of how I handle it in the moment. And then and also like if it's really bad or if it's obvious somebody's making multiple accounts, I will ask my community to report the accounts.
Yeah.
I'll just go, I won't address what they said. I won't do this. I'm like, okay, that person who just got banned. If you guys just want to really quick, do me a quick favor, report that account. The more reports they get, the more alt accounts we report, the more likely their IP address is to get banned. And then less people are getting bombarded with that.